I'm very much still an engineer at heart. And I frankly think it makes me a better marketer.
I am here with Tia Cummings. So welcome, Tia. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Joe. I was a chemical engineering major, right? So when I had that internship at P&G during school, and then after graduated and I did a co-op at Kraft Foods, that was as an engineer. But it was actually during that first internship at P&G that I even discovered what marketing was. So I came back my senior year of college like, well, I'm about to graduate with an engineering degree, but I think I want to go work in marketing. In business school, I did my MBA internship at Johnson & Johnson. I was all set to start off as an ABM when I graduated, and then got sort of diverted away by United Technologies Corporation. They really wooed me to participate in their general management rotational program at Pratt & Whitney. I did that for 3 years, great experiences, learned a lot, and it just sort of reinforced, no, my heart is in brand marketing. So I spent 3.5 years at J&J. I went to Pinnacle Foods. I worked on some of the consumer healthcare brands at J&J. So Breach toothbrushes, Stay Free pads. And then I moved to food at Pinnacle. Then I moved to beauty at L'Oreal. Then went back to food at Kellogg. At that point, I'd spent a decade in CPG. And I said, you know what, whether it's food or beauty or personal care, it's all kind of the same. Let me branch out to another consumer industry. I love to travel. You know what? I'm going to set my sights on either hotels or airlines because I want to try, marketing in hospitality. And so I ended up at IHG. And then I had a really unique opportunity present itself at Walker & Company. At Walker, I'm responsible for not just marketing, advertising, but consumer insights, innovation, and consumer experience. It's a health and beauty startup founded by Tristan Walker in 2013 to make health and beauty products for people of color. They were acquired by Procter & Gamble in December of 2018. And they approached me in June of 2019 as they were preparing to relocate their headquarters from Silicon Valley to Atlanta. And they were looking for a marketing leader to come in and sort of build their marketing capability. And it was intriguing because I'd always worked at these really big companies, as you just heard. I'd never been in a startup type environment. I'd never really worked on a multicultural brand, right? I worked on American icons like Holiday Inn and Pop-Tarts, Right. And so to go work for something that is, very targeted to my community, that is still growing and establishing itself, and being able to sort of help do that was really intriguing. I felt like this was one of those once in a lifetime opportunities that come along. And again, something I hadn't done. So that's really one of the things that I try to look for when I make moves. Is this something that is going to be new? Is it going to grow and develop and challenge me and sort of further build out my marketing tool set? So that's kind of how I make decisions and why I'm very choiceful about the moves I make to ensure that it checks off those boxes. Really coming in to an organization and building amazing relationships and inspiring teams to get big things done. Servant leadership. It is a model that I subscribe to. I truly view my role as an enabler to help my team be the best, right? How can I help break down any barriers? How can I help support you? That's what it's about. People are motivated when they feel like, hey, my leader is here to help me do my best work and is enabling me to do that, right? They're supporting me as a whole individual. To me, that's the best thing that a leader can do, right? Is get out of the way of your team and just support them. As a young brand, one of the big cornerstones of my marketing plan last year was all about, hey, we need to be out in the communities where our consumer is and meeting them. And so my marketing plan was a huge focus on it was experiential and just being out and about. And I had to scrap all of that.
Yeah.
Right. And how do you engage with consumers, when they're stuck at home? How do you engage with consumers, and particularly our audience, which is the Black American, who is struggling economically because of COVID, right? Who is struggling with the fight for racial justice, which took on a huge role last year, right? They've got all of these things that they're dealing with. Me trying to sell them my shampoo just feels right unimportant. And so for me, the biggest challenge is how do I find a way to make my brand relevant and to add value to their lives, knowing all of these things that they're dealing with. Don't be afraid to take a chance, to take risk, right? I've moved around, I bounced around. Even when I was in a really great place, I wasn't afraid to take a leap to someplace else. And I tell people all the time, don't get comfortable, right? To me, that's the worst thing, is when you sort of get complacent and you kind of let yourself stagnate in one place for too long. Constantly challenge yourself and view your career progression as a marathon, right? Not a sprint. Really take the time to understand what is it you're most passionate about. Try new things. Don't be afraid to take a leap. I'm obviously really proud of the one that we launched at Walker over the holidays, because again, I came up with the concept and it's beautiful and it's relevant to our target consumer and unique and unlike anything out there. The global campaign that I launched at IHG before I left, it was my first time doing a global campaign. It was launching, around the world, China, UK, the Middle East. That was really awesome. How do you come up with a concept that is inclusive enough that it can live in all of these different parts of the world that have very different, mindsets and consumers, but that still is true to the one brand identity of Holiday Inn and Holiday Inn Express. So I'm really proud of that work. I'm proud of the work that I did on Pop-Tarts, right? That was the first time I won an award. I won an Effie Award for this music content campaign that we launched to help support some new products and innovation, right? Really taking an innovative approach to bringing in music, celeb talent, content and events to produce this whole summer-long series. Really proud of some of the things that I've been able to launch.